So our speaker today is my lovely wife, Coach Emily Calabrese. She's here to kind of talk about wrapping up the track season. Mostly wants to know what you guys want to learn about. And if that doesn't work, we'll come up with other things to chat about. Yeah.
I'm going to stand over here too. So here to kind of wrap up what's been going on in the world of Prescott track. Today, actually, we head down to lacrosse for state. We have, as you can see by the back of my shirt, way more state competitors than we have had, at least since I've been here, so that's really exciting. We have the girls 4x1 and 4x2s going, as well as Grace Carlson in the 100 meter. She currently is the school record holder. Abby Severson in the 200, who's hoping to break that school record this weekend. And then Megan Gillis in the 300 hurdles, also school record holder. Haley Yeager in the shot put, also school record holder. So we've broken a lot of school records this year. Tori Bank is going in the long jump, and then Wyatt Holm is going in high jump. So we have a big group of kids going down this weekend, and hopefully we can set more records. And our 4x2 currently is seated first going in, so we are hoping to bring back some gold to Prescott, but we know nothing is guaranteed because number 2 is very close behind us and has beat us before. So our girls are going to go into it like any other competition and know what they have to do. Our 4x1 is seated 4th. We're actually tied for 4th, so hoping to get on the podium there this year. Megan Gillis and Abby Severson, so that's the hurdler and the 200 runner, are both seated 5th, so they've got a chance to make podium as well. Haley Yeager, is she 4th or 5th? 5th. So Haley is seated 5th too, hopefully another podium. Wyatt's right up there. There's a lot of guys jumping his height right now, so I think he's technically seated 7th, but anything could happen there too. And with our unseated athletes, I'm hoping that they can edge their way into finals and do something great for us too. We have actually Jessie Ehrman, one of our very data-driven athletes. She kind of has that side of me, and it's fun to talk to her about those things. Yesterday she said, you know, Coach, if we score how we're seated and everybody else does too, Prescott girls will take 4th this year in state. So that is awesome news, really exciting. Program's definitely headed in a good direction. We've got a lot of really young kids, which is great for us now, but we also need to make sure that we keep building that in the future too.
What does a 4-2 mean?
4x2? Good question.
4x2.
So those are relays. So there's 4 kids on each relay, and the last number, so the 4x200 means that they each run 200 meters.
Oh,
so it's a 400 meter track all the way around. So each one runs a half of the track,
yeah,
and they pass off a baton.
Yeah, okay.
That actually kind of reminds me, we did a kids clinic for the first time in a few years again this year. We did that last weekend. It was last weekend, right? 2 weekends ago now. And we had a great turnout. It was kind of a rainy day, so we ended up inside. Also, Girls on the Run was going on that day, which kind of took some away from that and vice versa. But it was a huge success. We have a lot of really young kids excited about track now and understanding what track is. In fact, one little girl at school, I work as a kindergarten teacher at Malone, for those of you who don't know. She keeps coming up to me every day and saying, when do we get to do track again? I'm like, it's just the one day, but you can come back next year. So it's just exciting that track right now has a bigger name than it has in a long time. What do you guys want to know about, like, behind the scenes coaching stuff, or?
So, like the 4x2, is it one race? How many races would it be for?
Yep.
So one race is it?
So we have prelims on Friday. So running starts at 9:30, and they will have a live feed of that. We will post it on our Facebook page, which is Prescott, Wisconsin High School Track and Field, if you want to look that up. They'll have a live feed of that starting 9:30 on Friday for preliminaries, and then top 9 teams, is it? It's different every track that you go to, whether they have 8 or 9 lanes, or in our case 6. But top 9 teams from prelim day will move on to finals, which starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday. So technically 2 races over the weekend.
So it's boys and girls together?
Yeah. Well,
state and track.
So the way that state works for us, we're in 3 different divisions, and Prescott is Division 2. So Division 3 athletes will compete first the girls race, then the boys, then girls Division 2, then boys Division 2.
So technically, it's two different sports, but they're all at the same time.
Yeah. Yep.
A Division 1, 2, or do they have their own?
Yep, so they compete like tomorrow afternoon. They keep Division 3 and 2 together because they're smaller and fewer kids there, and then D1 has the afternoon.
Who are the other
tomorrow.
coaches with you?
So our other coaches, my co-head coach is Mark DeWitz, and then Carl is one of our assistant coaches. This year he's taken on more of the throws role, but also helps in any other area. He was a decathlete in college, so that helps a lot. Also Ken Carlson, who was a teacher at the middle school for a long time. He helps us out. Tanya Thatcher, which I'm sure most of you know. See a lot of heads nodding. Yep, she's been here for a long time. And then Coach Avery Potoff is one of our new coaches this year. She's taken on hurdles and helps out with disc as well. She's been amazing to have, especially just as another female role model for the team. Let's see.
And she'll be the new ground cradle at the middle school. Ground cradle, sorry.
Yes, she got a job at the middle school.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And then Coach Steve Peterson has been helping us a little bit too when he can. You know, it's been really busy this year in the counseling department, but it's been awesome just to have his experience and advice for us too, and just be kind of a peace of mind for a lot of our kids.
Emily, what would you chalk up to the, I mean, don't be modest. I mean, what are you chalking up here to the kids wanting to be involved in your successes? I mean, when you walked in, did you have to do a lot different?
We did, as far as a mindset, I think. We had to create the mindset for Prescott track that sure, it's a fun sport with a lot of things to try and we can have a lot of kids on it, but it's not just, like when I was in high school, kids came out for track and laid on the infield. That's not track. Like, you can do that at home. So when I got here, I was kind of worried that that would be a little bit of it. Thankfully, it was not. But it's still just creating that mindset that we're here to compete. We are a varsity sport. Sure, there's 70 kids on the team, and not everybody will have all varsity competitions. But to be able to keep everybody engaged, whether it's their first time out and they're not seeing the success they want to yet, but still keeping them with the program and excited about it. Because I think Carl and I bring a lot of excitement ourselves. The kids often say they think we care about it a little bit more than they do. But that's not a problem for me right now because we always tell them we believe in them when they can't believe in themselves. So it's just about creating the relationships and creating the excitement that I think we definitely have over the past few years.
Were you and Carl both track athletes?
We were,
at college?
yeah. We both competed for UW River Falls. I was a sprinter for them, and like I said before, he was a decathlete. So we bring a lot of knowledge to the program too, and I think that's helped a lot. Yeah. I have my college coaches who I can go to and say, what do you think about this situation? Or are my kids going to peak at the right time? Because it's very methodical in our training, and knowing that what we do at the beginning of the season is for a reason at the end. Everything goes up in increments from speed, and the kids all have times that they need to hit based on how fast they are now or how fast they were last year. So it's a lot more methodical than people might think. They don't just go out and run for practice, but they're hitting a certain time, and then they're taking a certain amount of rest, and just making sure that we're really preparing them the best we can physically.
I could add this too. I think what happened a little bit in track a while ago is it became a little bit more of an individual focus versus a team, and it's easy to happen like a wrestling or track or some things like that where, and I'll use the example, Sammy Bronlick is a junior girl who is going to be a sprinter. She's done cross country, so we know that she can run further. There's a lot of depth in the sprints, but to get her to say, hey, what's best for the team, let's have you maybe try the 800. And she'll go, but she ended up, the 4x8 made it to sectionals as well. And so when you talk about doing well as a team, so you might be running an event that you know you're not going to necessarily win it, but maybe if you're taking 4th or 5th place and you're scoring points for the team. So to me, just watching, I really feel that team focus is coming back, and people are really excited about, hey, you scored points for the team, you're a big part of that too. So if it's a team focus, I think it really gives you the success that you need to keep moving forward too.
Yeah, and they feel then like they're more valued.
Yeah.
I mean, Amanda Alcium's, granted she loves the 2 mile. Don't ask me why, because most kids don't. It's been like pulling teeth to get kids to run the 2 mile. And then this year we have a solid group of kids who we say, all right, you're in the 2 mile. And they're excited. They know that they can score points for us there because not a lot of other teams enjoy running the 2 mile either. So I think Steve has played a huge part in that team aspect of it and getting the kids to believe that they're really helping. And I mean, our girls this year placed 3rd in conference, 3rd in regionals, and 3rd in sectionals, which was absolutely incredible. And it's just because they're a team now. They can score all over the board.
Is there more of a focus on technique, do you think? Is that what you had to see when you came in? Maybe?
There's
I
a
feel like
lot,
when you're breaking
yes.
school records that you didn't break before,
Yeah.
there had to be something that you
Yeah,
started.
so a lot of it that I think I noticed mainly when I came in was not only just the running form, but all the little things like handoffs and blocks, especially from the sprint side. You can gain 0.2 seconds in your 100 just off of having good blocks. So getting the kids and videotaping them to show them, we want to be at a 45-degree angle right here. And right now you're at a 45-degree angle and then your torso kind of dips down. So looking at all of those little things has just helped to drop that time huge. I mean, I was trained by absolutely incredible coaches all throughout my high school and college career. And so they've taught me so much that I've been able to pass on to these kids that makes sense biologically too. I mean, in a handoff, you want to go straight out because your running motion is here. So if you miss that hand the first time around, you're just going to come back, reload, and try again. Whereas a lot of teams actually, Carl and I were watching the other day warming up at regionals.
Sectionals.
Oh, yep, sectionals. And a team comes in to practice a handoff. They come all the way around to give the baton. Well, that's all wasted time. That's all wasted energy. And if you miss, what my coaches always taught me was your momentum's going down. So then you have to come all the way back up again to try again. Whereas if we're here, going out, miss, we're just trying again and again until we get it. So I think the little things like that with technique have definitely played a big role in those records.
How about in training as far as like chiropractor or lifting weights, or there's got to be other things
Yes.
probably involved.
Our lifting program has come around exponentially in the past few years. And I think a lot of that lately has been Mr. Figge and Mr. Smith encouraging it too. I mean, Coach Carl and I at least have always believed the importance of lifting, but right now it's a school mandated, you have to lift as a team for every sport at least 2 times a week. So getting the kids again to believe that mindset of stronger means faster. And a lot of our freshmen coming in think, well, I didn't lift in middle school and I was pretty good, so why do I have to lift now? And then they get out there with those big built upperclassmen at the first meet and they go, oh, I think I get it now. So lifting, I would definitely say, has been a huge, huge role in that. Coach Carl loves the lifting side. Coach Avery's also very well trained in it. She will be teaching physical ed and adaptive physical ed at the middle school, so that's kind of her realm too. So that's, again, just the mindset and the belief for our lifting too has played a huge role in the kids' strength and injury prevention. A lot of our kids who are lifting year round don't have the injuries that they had before they were lifting, and putting importance on that.
And just the facility.
Yes.
What we have at the new high school versus what you were crammed into. So, there's so many lifts that you can do just with the dumbbells and so forth too, that there was no room to do that at the old facility too. So.
And I was actually never at the old facility, so I've only known the amazingness that we've had, but everything that I've heard is just an incredible change.
So if you and Carl are being chased by a bear, which one will we see at Kiwanis?
Short term, long term. I'm pretty close short term. I'm a little smaller, I can fit into summer. I bet on TV.
And she tripped him. So.
Yeah. Carl can just beat it up, that's all right. He's got the muscles.
What do you think, Carl? You liking being an assistant coach?
Love it. Yeah. Seeing everything that she goes through as a head coach makes me thankful that I'm an assistant coach. She every night has parents or athletes sending her messages asking the exact question that she answered at practice that day. Specifically like what time the bus leaves, or what time the banquet that we had last night started. And she was, so it's stuff like that. The data entry that she does, so every night after a meet, we get back, it's 9 o'clock, she's entering stuff until 11 o'clock. Same thing happens the next day, she's we get back from practice at 6 o'clock. She's on the computer until 11 o'clock, either doing data entry, meet entries, organizing practice, figuring out what our next fundraiser is going to be. It's just, she's constantly doing things for the track team. We do not have a life in the spring. Her weekends are the same way. We try to get a weekend where we just don't do anything and something always comes up. We always do a Saturday morning practice if we can on the weekends, just so we can work on some of the events, the long jump, high jump, pole vault, the events that we don't get as much time to work on during the week. So we always have that going on. What are some other things that...
The data part of it, though, I think is something that a lot of people don't realize. Like I said, my buddy in data has been Jessie Ehrman, because she loves tracking how runners in other conferences or in our region or section are doing. And so like he said, after every meet, I'll go and enter data. So that means I'm plugging into my computer on a certain event what that kid ran that night. So I can see and I track, are they dropping time or are they just kind of staying the same? Did they increase? What happened tonight that might have caused that? Was it bad weather? Did they have shin splints? And just making sure that our trend is heading in the right direction. Because if it's not, that's when we need to know we got to change something with our training. So we can see like if maybe our shot putters, and of course it doesn't happen because Carl's great, but if our shot putters all of a sudden haven't PR'd all year, we have to look and say, hey Carl, we've noticed this. What's going on here? Is something new with your athletes? What did we change? Are they still lifting? So the data part is a huge behind the scenes part. And looking at, there's a website called athletic.net, which is just about my best friend during track season, because that's how we track where our kids are going to have the best chance to place as a team in conference or to get on to state, starting at regionals and then into sectionals and state. So we can see, our 4x2 has been toward the top of the state all year. So I'm not going to take one of those girls out, because if we do that, we're going to drop down here and we're sacrificing our chance to make it. Or on the other hand, could I take one of those girls out because she has a good chance to do something somewhere else and plug another one in and we'll still be up at the top. So it's just tracking all of this stuff, and it's a numbers game too, and I think that's something that our program definitely stands out with, because I don't think every team necessarily does that.
Can you describe the entry limits that you have for different meets? Because
Yes.
That's where that goes a little.
Yes. So a lot of our meets toward the beginning of the season are unlimited entry, which means athletes can be entered in 4 events total, 3 track or 3 field, one or the other. They just can't all be 4 running or 4 field. But unlimited entry meets, you can enter as many people in the 100 dash as you want. Those are the meets that are going until 10 or 11 at night, because everybody loves the 100. There's also meets though, like when you get more toward conference and definitely into conference regionals and sectionals, that are limited. So it means that we can have, usually it's 28 total entries amongst all of your events, and then 1 relay per gender. So I could enter up to 3 athletes in the 100 if our team is really strong in the short sprints, which is the case right now. So for conference, I loaded our 100 and 200 for our girls, put together some good to hopefully around the top sprint relays, so we can score some points there too, but scoring 3 girls in the 100 can get you, 14 points in just that one event. So with those limited entry meets, it's kind of plugging in and moving and figuring out where your team can score the most points in certain events within the limitations of only 28 kids can be entered somewhere.
So if you take your 4 fastest girls and put them in relay, they win the relay, it's 10 points. But that's one of the 4 events they can do. So if you can take 2 of those girls out, put them in separate events that they win, so you have 10 points here, 10 points here, and you take second place in the relay, you get 8 points. Now you've maxed it. So what I really miss from track is the strategy part, like looking at where can we pull these kids and what we use.
Yeah.
That's the team part of the points.
Yeah, and explaining that to the kids too. I've always been the type of coach to tell my kids everything that I am thinking. I mean, they know why they're being pulled out of a relay to be in an individual, or they know why they didn't make it into the 400 this meet, because I truly believe that if I just lay it all out there for them, there aren't going to be surprises, there's going to be less kids upset about it, then that just builds up the whole program in general because they know what to expect from us and we know what to expect from them. So communication is a huge part with the athletes.
So based on the number of athletes that you make it,
Yeah.
you could still do something as a team too.
Yes.
And as a team, is that just the athletes that are there representing the team?
Yeah.
Or is that everyone on the team?
So, like for instance, for conference, where you're limited on your entries, you can score whoever is in the meet. So top 8 will score some sort of points, and then that adds up to your total team points. So they post, you know, the whole individual events in the 300 hurdles. These were all the kids in their times. These 8 athletes scored. Now on the bottom of the sheet, you'll see a little Prescott has this many points altogether, and then Ellsworth has this many points. So you can kind of track along as you go too. When it came to regionals and sectionals, that was a big thing for us this year. Tori Bank is an incredible 400 runner, but she's also incredible in many other places. So she's one who we used one of her events as the 4x4. It's the last event of the meet. Because if we were teetering on that first, second place, and by putting her in, we could possibly score a little bit higher in the meet, then I would put her in because she might be 7 seconds faster than one of the girls who's already in there. So it's tracking those team points throughout too, to make sure that our team is ending in the best place that they can.
In conference, you can put all your athletes, you have so many spots. And regionals is the same way, but at regionals, the top 4 in each event, so the top 4 100 runners advance to sectionals. And there's 4 sectionals that come together, and the top 4 of that set, or 4 regionals come to 1 sectional. There's 16 athletes, and the top 4 sectionals move on to state.
Yeah, so I guess just the athletes that moved on to sectionals could score there.
Gotcha.
So I think that's, when we looked at that as a coaching staff after sectionals and said, wow, you know, St. Croix Central absolutely blew everybody out of the water. In regionals, they won, but when we got to sectionals, they kind of dropped and Prescott went up. So we kind of looked at that as, we've got a really solid group of kids who can score well in regionals, our top part of the team, but our top of the top kids are that good that when it gets to sectional time and it's even more limited and teams have fewer entries in, our girls are still scoring very high because our top of the top in our program is very, very competitive. Hopefully that'll show at state too.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much.